And there was a little cafe that had opened where immigrants could go and just sit and talk stories and stuff. And that cafe inspired me so much because I felt like if that cafe existed when I was going through what I was going through, it would have been easier. So I gifted them some of these pieces, and they were kind enough to receive my gift. And they gave me a job to paint a piano, a wooden piano, just put my things there. And I painted it, and it came out really looking so good. And people started seeing me. It was here in this town. And because I still had more pieces, I wanted to exhibit them. So I know about a gallery that exhibits new upcoming artists here in Aalborg. And I wrote them for 3 years. I had tried to write them. They kept saying no, but then the third year, they said yes. So I got my first exhibition. And then, because I also needed a bigger place to paint, because it was just getting so lovely. I was enjoying it. And I spoke to one guy who works at the commune who I used to be a dancer. I used to dance in an African group before, and he would come and visit us and see what we're doing. So I went to speak to him, and I told him my situation. He said, well, I know, when I went to speak to him, so when I started to paint and everything, I thought that the narrative for refugees and immigrants needs to change. And I thought I could change it with my painting. I was thinking of young refugee kids and immigrant kids living in the side of town where I was living, Aalborg Øst. If we can just be spending time doing these lovely painting things, sometimes it takes you away from all these thoughts if you are into those thoughts. And it also kind of gives you a different image, because I realized that I got many people that paid attention to me because they could see what I was doing. So I went to talk to the guy because I needed to make a little project with the kids. And he said, I can send you to somebody in the commune who might be able to guide you. So I went to the commune to speak to this person, and this person said he doesn't quite know if that can be possible, but he can talk to somebody who can offer me a space. And he talked to the leader of the art hall here. We had a leader who left. So he gave me his contact. No, he talked to them, and then he wrote me an email and said, they said they have a spot, and the deadline is in 2 days. So you have to apply and just send you can go to their website. I went to the website. It says you can send what you do in a slideshow, and then you can show up for a physical interview. And so I did send some of my pictures, and I showed up to the physical interview, and there was like a panel of artists. I thought it was going to be one person. So I got in there. I'm still nervous because at this point I still haven't healed. I'm still not me. I'm still nervous. I'm still anxious. But I showed my works, and they loved them. And they were like, well, if you need a spot, we can show you upstairs and you can say if you want it or not. What? I came up here and I saw there was only 3 people, so there was 3 spots left. And they were picking people, so I picked a spot, but when I came it was taken, so I picked this one. And then the guy said to me, no one paints like this in Aalborg. You're really going to do good in this painting world. And I thought that was so amazing. I was just like, thanks. I mean, yeah, they come from a very, very hard place. So, yeah. And then I got this spot like that. And I've not done the project with the kids yet, but it's a plan because painting has really helped me a lot. I still need to do therapy where I speak like this, because every time I go, I wail. I can't even say the things I want to say. But painting has brought me back. I did a first project where it was about anatomy and movement because I couldn't move. And I had to find out how people find it so easy. I forgot what you do. So I did the first project that was a very big success. And that's what is showing in Sasa at the moment.
Right.
It's people with movements and stuff. And so far, so good.
So good.
Yeah.
What kind of technique you use to paint?
I think mostly I love math and I love geometry. So I put my geometry in my art, and I just I like structure. I like to it's not good to control your emotions. You have to let them out. But at the time I started to paint, I needed to control what I had. So that's why I use shapes and lines and like boxes, literally boxing myself. Um, and I just do what comes to my mind. Yeah, and I tried to be as abstract as possible, but I can tell that I'm leaning more to the realistic side of things. But I know there's nothing very realistic about this. You can't see their face. And another thing I do is that I don't paint eyes and mouths and the features in your face, because while I went through learning how human beings are and stuff, I learned that the eyes can lie and the mouth can lie too. That's true. So I don't want to believe people by how they look like. Isn't that true though?
Yeah, it's true.
Yes. So it's don't believe the eyes. Like they say the eyes are the windows to your soul, but some people know how to flex their eyes and you might just think they're being real, but they're not. And not to say that the people I paint are fake. I don't know why you're laughing.
No, it's exactly what you said. Yes, it's true.
Yeah, so I try to take that away, and also mostly because it's not about what you look like, but about what you are on the inside. So what you look like, it doesn't mean so much to me, but that's what inspires me, because I'm also inspired by how you clothe yourself. That's for me is the art, the beauty. But also I try to create you, so it's not what you try to present in your face or your outside, but mostly your inside. So I feel like I paint segments of people, not how they look, and really the eyes and the mouth can lie.
When you painting, you use actors, like
Yeah.
your live painting, where you put someone.
I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm looking forward to doing that. Also, you can Google it, that there's a technique where you blur your eyes and then you just see the outline of the person. And that's what I didn't know that was a thing, but I started by doing that because I loved the shapes so much and I wanted to create humans in just shapes. So I would blur my eyes in a certain way and I could only see what I want to see. So I create blocks out of you because that's what I see, but you're actually not a block. You're just like an all-round person. And when I would tell my sister, like, I see this, and she was like, you're the only one who sees that. Other people see them as normal people. And I was just like, okay. And I haven't used that technique lately. I just try to be as realistic as possible, but there's a thing where I blur my eyes and I don't see what exactly is there. Just, yeah, and I use watercolors now. I'm trying. And I'm trying to paint as transparent as possible. Before, I couldn't leave it looking like this. It had to be fully covered because I wanted to cover myself fully and stand up again. So I could never leave it like this. I always felt incomplete. But I think I'm growing where I'm okay with allowing the art to also just take its own path. Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm an artist from Congo, and I live in Denmark now for 9 years. And I'm gonna be painting tonight, as you heard, and it's actually a self-portrait. So enjoy and feel free to ask any questions when you're walking around, and just as you enjoy your food as well.
The last time I met you was the first time I met you was in Copenhagen, and you were at the salsa painting.
Yes.
I want you to tell me a little bit about that live event that you participate.
Yeah.
And then, if possible, to show me the picture that you were doing, if
Okay.
the drawing, if it's, you're done with it or not, how it is. Tell me about that.
Cool. So this is the picture that I was painting. You can remember? It was so kind of you to be there and just record the whole show. It's a self-portrait. For the first time I painted myself. I had also had a hard time with painting myself because when I lost everything, I could not see myself. And so I did not know how I looked like. And I was not ready to paint myself. And then on the 23rd of August is my birthday. And so when Mohamed from Sasa offered me the opportunity to do a live painting, which was going to be in coordination with my exhibition, I thought, I can just take a jump into trying to do a self-portrait for the first time. And so I did a self-portrait, and it's almost done. It looks like it's done, but I have to finish some corners here.
Yeah, for me, I would say that it's done.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. Really
I know, and you can buy it. It's ready. Yeah, so I need to just put a little more in places, and then it will be fully done. And the show was nice. I have become better at being in the open and making my work in the open for people to see. So I enjoyed people watching what I was doing. Somebody told me it's very therapeutic to watch a painter painting, and they had just seen that for the first time. So that was really nice. And people asking questions or just coming to see and taking pictures. It was really good. It was a nice experience, nice first time experience, and I look forward to. That was my second time painting live. I had done a live show with actually Sandro, who just came in. Yeah, where we have a thing called Cross Art Live here in Aalborg, different programs that just help artists, and he invited me to do a live painting first time, and then I had to Google what you do if you have to do a live painting. So I'd never done that, and remember what I stuck with in my mind was you have to keep your posture. So that's what I kept, and I didn't quite do the best job ever because I was so focused in the painting, but you have to kind of interact with the audience. So this time round I interacted with the audience, I think, pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so I can't wait to see the video. If you're gonna work on it, I don't know.
Work on it, of course.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to finish your piece of?
It might take a week, yeah, or it depends on how big it is. So this, if I'm only working on it every day, it will take me a week. Yes, because I put so many coats until I cover it fully in this style. But if it's a watercolor painting, like the ones around, just a few hours, like 3 hours, even 1 hour, because it's really quick. I enjoy that. And then I've done like huge pieces that have taken me a month plus.
And what are you working
Currently on?
Yeah?
So right now I am working on a project that is called Doors. I thought of the corona situation, how it has changed the world. And we feel like things are normal, but things are not normal, as we know. And as I said earlier, all the places I'm from, the precautions on how to protect yourself are different. Here in Denmark, you just have to have your mask, which has just been introduced the other day from the 22nd of August in order to be on the bus. But earlier, we were okay as long as you social distance. You can go out for a walk and stuff. But in Kenya, they have a curfew at 7 p.m. You cannot be caught outside at 7 p.m. You may be arrested. And that's part of corona precaution measures. And I think it's crazy because now I have family in Kenya that I speak to and friends. So I feel like I'm split because I understand what they're going through. And here I'm okay, but I'm not really okay. So I feel like, for me, I feel like this is the moment in time where we have to decide which doors we're going to close completely, which doors we're going to open, which doors we're going to have to like slide through real quick before they close. So I feel like I'm a little bit in a cultural split. And I have family in the States where their precautions are also different from the precautions here. And it's the same corona. And I feel like it's not fair about how they're treating the corona situation in Kenya, for example, because not everybody can afford to just not go to work. Like here, people get compensated for their jobs. But back home, a lot of businesses are not registered with the government. There's the women who sell stuff at the market, and it becomes very alive in the evening because that's when everybody's coming from work, but they cannot be outside. So how are they making a life? So I applied for funding for this project, and I got the funds. So I started with I'm gonna make a mixture of, it's gonna be a mosaic and two mosaics and paintings that are gonna depict what I just said. And the first one is from a picture that I got really inspired by. um, it's a mosaic that is not fully done yet, but these are supposed to be hands, arms holding onto a scarf, and there should be a face here, but this face shows another image, and it gives me an illusion of a door or an opening or like a window. So when it's fully done, you can see it, but this is the beginning, and I've made sketches for the other things, and I have to be done with it in February. And I already have an exhibition area where
Exactly, I was up to ask you
Yeah.
if you've got an exhibition, you ever have an exhibition since you start painting.
Yes, I have had 3 exhibitions. Yes, since 2019. I had the first one in March of 2019 to April, and which was like a duet exhibition, but we didn't work with the other person. We just put it together because our works kind of spoke the same language, and which is almost what all artists do. We kind of always find ourselves together, even if you're doing something completely different. The idea and the reason why you did it always kind of matches. So that was my first one at Huso here in Aalborg, and the second one was here in the art hall. We have a gallery on the halls called Tubine Gallery, which was the one that I worked with, the anatomy. And the third one is what is showing at Sasa currently. And this is going to be my 4th one. And there's a rule about funding. When you apply for funding for your art, you already have to have had, you must have a place that you're going to exhibit the work before they give you the money. So I spoke to Art Room, which is a young artist organization here in Aalborg. It's called AAAA, 4As, and they have an area where they help young artists show their work. If you're new and upcoming, it's really nice. And I wrote them, and they were kind enough to say yes, you can when you're done. So that is going to be in February this coming year. Yeah, or if that doesn't work, it's probably going to be online because for this corona situation, I don't know how that works. Yeah.
And how when it comes to how successful or not successful, when it comes to the price of the one of the painting, how it is, everybody's can be able to buy it. Nice
That's a good
prices.
question. So mostly I want to give out my art because I do it for therapy. When I started to paint, I called my page Paint for Therapy. And I've changed it now to Sarah Dominique Artist because I kind of want to brand myself. And also, I am not like a real therapist, so I don't want to act like I know everything about painting for therapy. But mainly, I would love for people to see my work and feel good or just get a spark of something. But if I'm going to be professional and sell my work, I sell my works at 6,000 kroner per square meter. And then we go up or down from there. And you just have to afford that.
Well, I ask you that question because Denmark is a very expensive country.
Yeah.
And then if you want to live as an artist,
Yeah.
so you need to sell your work.
Yes.
So
How successful am I at selling my work?
how successful are you selling your work? And then if you can survive by selling or
Oh,
living
cool.
as an artist.
Yes. All right. So far, I can't say I can survive by living as an artist. The biggest project I did was the one called Anatome Art. And I forgot to mention that I did that project, and the ending of the money I get from all the pieces, I want to donate it to a ballerina school in Kibera, in Kenya. So I learned about this school on YouTube, I think. And they have a lot of kids, homeless kids. Some of them have parents. A lot of kids from the slum who dance ballet, and they don't have shoes. Main reason is because they couldn't afford the shoes. So I just felt touched to donate this money to the kids so they can buy shoes. And I got in touch with the owner of the school. He thought this was really good. He thanked me for thinking about them, and I was just happy that they want to receive my gift, because I don't want to be like the aid giver, I'm really doing this with the people. And so that was my biggest project, and I have sold a piece for the money that I asked. Well, we bargained a little, and so that's my first big project, and this money is gonna go to charity. So it's not for me. I've sold a couple of other pieces, but I want to say you can live off of art. So far, I don't have so many pieces, so I can't say you can't, because also for me, I need to have a lot of pieces and see if they go or not. So I've just started last year, and I want to make more. But most of my pieces have been bought, I can say that. And I think if you're just persistent and you make really good work and you know how to position yourself, and do not try to make art that is going to please somebody else. Do not try to make art with somebody else in mind, but make it for yourself. That's what I do. And I get people tell me I do good stuff. Not everyone likes it. But I think if you just are persistent and you make a good portfolio and you position yourself really well, it's not easy, but you have to stick to who you are. That's what I try to do. I think with time you can. Yeah, but for now, not yet. But I know that if I say, come buy my art, I may get to sell a piece or two. The exhibition at Sasa, I managed to sell 3 pieces on the day.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
But it's really good, your painting. I'm not expert on the reading art.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
You do a good job.
Thank
I
you
saw
so
the
much.
way it was around, and that's really good.
Thanks a
Good.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. If you sold that 3 pieces, that many, it's really good. People like it.
Yes, they appreciated it. So I want to be optimistic, but also I don't want to think I'm making art so that it can sell. I just want to make good art, and I think that's why it sells. Yeah. And I want to encourage everyone to just do what they feel is helping them. And if it's helping you and you're trying to be a good person, then it's helping somebody else, best believe. Yeah.
We are almost at the end of our conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
What else do you like to mention? Would I haven't asked you that you like to people to know? Maybe about your work, where they can find you, to where you, if they want to buy a piece, if they want to order something.
Okay. It's on Instagram. I am there. My works are on Instagram so far as Sarah Dominique Artist. I'm working on a website. It's gonna come soon, and it's gonna be called Sarai Art. So Sarah, but like the original Sarah from the Bible, her original name was Sarai, but mine is just a play because my last name begins with an I. So I want to make a website which is coming soon that people are gonna know. I'm gonna put it on from my Instagram. Otherwise, just Instagram, or here in Aalborg. I have a studio here in Aalborg in this building called Norkraft. So if you're around, you're always welcome to come and see. And I am not the only one here. We have 5 other artists doing completely other different things. We're all painting, but there's some who are working with textiles, and Sandro, who just passed here, is doing experimental art performances. So this is a really nice place to come and see art, and you can see me too. And I want to tell mostly my African people that men and women, that they should not be boxed, and they should not allow anyone to explain who they are. So I remember when I started to show my pieces, I kept hearing this. So is this African art? Is this African art? I don't know. I'm just painting. Well, I guess clearly it is because I am African. So I don't understand your question. How do you want me to explain this? Or they would say, so is this feminist art? Well, I'm a woman and I respect women. I guess then you don't even have to ask that question. It's clear. But I feel like as an African, I feel like white artists don't get asked these questions, but as an African, you kind of have to explain like, yeah, this is African art, or I'm using these colors because I grew up with these colors, but I have traveled so much and my mind has explored so much. I am African. So by that virtue, you shouldn't even ask me if this is African art. But also, I feel like African artists are kind of, you have to say, you have to express yourself in an African way, or you have to make it African enough so that other people can appreciate it. And there's a thing about African art, how it's supposed to look like. So I just want to say to African artists who maybe feel, poets, writers, whatever, create it as you feel, because Africans are all around the world, and according to history, we have been displaced from all corners, from the Americas, from every. Sometimes I'm just like, maybe Denmark was full of African people before. That's a joke, but I just feel like that you can't say African art. My art is African, and it's just what comes in my head. Yes, I know about the pots and I can create the pots, I can draw mountains, I can draw the giraffes, but that's not where it ends. So I just want to tell my African artists, because I've talked to people who find it hard to express themselves. Nobody should tell you how to express yourself. Yeah, just express yourself the way you want to. And if they don't have to understand, as long as you understand and keep doing it, I guess eventually they will. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too. Thank you so much for coming all the way. Yeah, I feel honored, really. Yeah.
Pleasure.